Hello guys, Nigel here from Nigel's Land Rover channel, Defender Keswick 90, or Defender 90 Keswick should I say. And yes, I'm in a different location than normal. I'm still at my house, I haven't moved, I haven't gone abroad or something, I'm still here and homebound, well not homebound, bound in the house I guess. And this is my modelling bench with an old t-shirt on it. Basically I normally model on a board like this, but this is an old t-shirt on here because, well, you'll see in a minute, it's all about me being a big girl's blouse. But this is a modelling bench where I do my modelling. I have another channel called Nigel's Modelling Bench, and this is said bench. And here is what I normally do. Now this is a Land Rover I'm working on at the moment, and this is the Hobby Boss 1/35th kit, and you can't get a plastic injection moulded 35th scale 90, so I thought, well, I'll make one. And this is actually cut down. You can't see the marks because I've sanded them and filled them and stuff, but basically this is cut down from a long wheelbase. So I've cut down here, and shortened it because, as we all know, a 110 is longer here and longer here, so it all had to be shortened. Cut the floor down as well, moved the fuel filler from the back to the here because it's an Army Land Rover and they have the fuel filler here, a la old style. And yeah, basically made up a piece of plastic there for the rear cross member, and here are the doors, rear door, side doors, front bulkhead, all ready to start going together, and the chassis has all been shortened as well. So if you want to see that, I can't remember how many parts, but this is actually, I'm filming it at the moment. This is painted. I'm doing some filler work and painting and stuff. I'm filming it. That bit's not gone up yet. So the last time you see that on YouTube, it was still in tan plastic. So this video is being done because Paul from Grumpy's Barn, I think it is. I'll put a link down below. He's done a video tonight on about fitting his new discs to his axle, and it reminded me that I promised him I would try this new piece of tooling I've made out for fitting the awful seals in the Defender calipers. They're awful. What they call the wiper seals on the outside. They've got a metal ring on them. I've got an old one here which I could show you. Let's just get this off. You've got this, here we go, we've got a rubber which is in a tin ring, and these press in, but they're so easy to bend it's untrue, and if you bend them you're buggered. So what you need to do is take your old ones out very carefully, and then if you do bend a new one you've got the old ones to use. But this is an old wiper seal and an old tin ring. So basically the reason I've got this here is because I'm a big girl's blouse, as I said, because this is my caliper, and as you can see it's shiny and red and stuff, as I say, because I'm a big girl's blouse. So there we go. So that's the caliper there. Now this is the tool I've made. So this is an old piston machined down, and it's been drilled and tapped M10, and then this is an aluminium piece which it replicates a piston, but I've milled away 4 sections so it reduces the contact area, and it's also got an area here of land where the seal and the ring fits, and then I've got this piece of nylon here, and in a minute you'll see what that's for. So what do we need to do this? Well, we need a 17mm spanner to use this tool, and that is it. I've got a washer here as well. So you need a 17mm spanner to use this tool and nothing else. I've got a 7/16 spanner here, or you could use 11mm because I've got the bleed nipples here I'm going to put in afterwards. And you also need, well, you might decide to get this Brit part. I know what you're going to say about Brit part, but the thing is, this is basically a stainless steel caliper kit for the complete front axle. It's DA116, as you can see, and the reason I've gone for this is because it's stainless steel. These calipers were in a complete and utter mess. I couldn't believe it. 9 years old, 16,000 miles. All the pistons were rusty. There was probably my fault because I didn't change the fluid soon enough, but there was also some corrosion in the bores, but very, very light. I don't know if I can show it on the camera. Let me stand up and see if I can get it in the camera there. You can see there's some very light corrosion in there, which I've just taken out with some Scotch-Brite. You can't even feel it, it's just visual, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. The pistons don't actually touch the cylinder walls anyway. So this is the kit, and in the kit you get, basically, you've got there's your tin rings there, 2 sets of them, which press the seals in. Then you've got all your wiper seals there in one lot, and then you've got your actual piston bore seals there, and then we've got 8 little boxes which have in them stainless steel pistons. And the thing is, I know it's Brit part, but basically these parts are not made by Brit part. I think the seals are probably all made in China, and these are what you're going to get whatever you buy, so it doesn't matter the fact that it's Brit part. I'm not too worried about that. And these rings are the same. And then we also get in here, which is handy, a little tube of red rubber grease, which is nice. So we'll get 4 of the pistons out. We can put 1 lot of those in, and we need 4 of the wiper seals there, so those can go back in there. I've got a piston seal there. We need 4 piston seals, so those 4 can go back in the box. Now, I haven't done this. As you can see, I've got all the seals here, I've got all the rings and everything, so I'm doing this on camera for you guys, and it is the first time I've ever tried this tool out. I haven't tried it out with the old rings or anything, for fear of bending them and getting them back out, and also maybe scratching my lovely paintwork. So we'll put the seals over here to one side, get the old one out of the way so I don't reuse that, and then I've got these rings here. We can get rid of the bag and we can press these in. Now the first thing to do is to go round, if you have painted calipers, make sure there's no paint in the recesses where the seals are going to go. Make sure everything is clean, blow it all out, which I've just done. Make sure everything's nice and clean, and that everything's going to go in there lovely. So the first thing we're going to do is not put the piston seals in. You'll see why in a minute. Now the way I've designed this tool, you can see I've got a bolt in here. That means you can stand your caliper up like so. So that's why I put that bolt in there. So the reason I've got this, the way I've made this tool, is that you can use an old piston with a thread in it and a nut to push this in without having to strip the calipers. I know that AP recommend these calipers are never actually split in half. Not really sure why, but that's what they recommend. I've done it before, but I don't know why they say you shouldn't. I also need to scrape paint off of here, which is the mounting face. But anyway, this video is all about fitting these seals. So first things first, I'm going to cut the top off of the grease, like so, he says. Blunt blade. And now we've got a means of getting the grease out. And I'm going to get some paper towel. Yep, I've got the same paper towel up here as I have in the garage. And basically I want to make sure that everything is greased and well looked after. So first things first, as I say, this is the first time I've tried this with new parts. I'm going to put this tin ring on this aluminium part this way round, so it's got the flat side out, going against the aluminium, so the cup side is there, and then we can put the seal on. But first of all, I'm going to put some grease on the seal, not too much, but I just don't want the seal to sit in there dry. So we'll just go round, rub this around. This will stop any corrosion, or help to stop any corrosion building up in or around that tin ring. I mean, the thing is, this kit doesn't cost a fortune anyway. I think with the VAT and everything, it's about £70. I saw some places online charging stupid money for it. But if you shop around, you can get them quite cheap. Now we've got a groove in here, so I'm going to make sure I've got grease in that groove. Okay, we'll put the seal in here. I'm glad I'm doing this for the first time with you guys, because if you decide to copy this tool, you can see what not to do. And especially Paul, because he's going to borrow this from me. So we can put that in there. I remember now, this is how I designed it in the first place, I think. And then push that down in there. And there we go. We've now got the rubber seal in the tin ring and on the tool. Right, so I've polished up these corners now on this tool. I made it a bit easier for it to slide on. So basically what I'm going to do now is just push this seal into this nylon here, and then take this tool and push it down through there, making sure you hold the steel ring down as you push it in. Just push that in like that, and then pull it away. Now as we can see, the seal wants to come out of the tin ring. So what I'll do is get a flat surface like a steel rule and just push it back in. Okay, like so, and don't let it pop out and have its own way. Make sure that you're the boss. Okay, so that's in there now. Now there's nothing on here that will damage it, and the tool has actually got like a reduced diameter to hold the seal in. So there we go, that's on there now, that's going nowhere. Okay, so what we can do now, just give my hands a clean because they're covered in grease. Right, get that out of the way. What we can do now is pop that into the piston. Okay, so I'm going to pop this, I'll put it on this one actually so that bolt isn't in the way. So I'm just going to pop that in there. In fact, what I'll do is just put some more grease on this face before we do that. There we go. Just make sure it's gone over the edge of the tin, help it go in. Right, so what I'm going to do is just pop this piston in here. Okay, so that's now sat there like that. Right, now this tool has a nut. We'll put the washer on. Okay, so you can see I've got this wound in. I've got the washer on here, the nut there, and I'm going to put the piston in backwards. But first of all, I'm going to slide this tool into, I'm going to slide this tool into that bore. A bit more thread. I'm going to slide that tool into that bore like so, okay, and then wind the shaft out, the threaded shaft out. I'm trying to do this so you can see what I'm doing, which is not easy. This would be a lot easier when you've got it in your hands, Paul. So I'm just going to turn this out now, so that the threaded part goes into the aluminium by about 10 millimeters, and the piston is right back. So okay, I've pushed the piston right back on this side. So now I can turn this threaded bar out until it's about 10 millimeters into there, and that'll help it guide. And then we can wind the nut along, hold the piston, or hold the threaded bar should I say, wind the nut along. And as I say, this is the first time I've done this. Let's see if it works. So we can push that in like that. Okay, and then we can take our 17mm spanner and just turn that nut, and what it should do is push that in. And it's pushed that seal into there. Just give it a nudge when it goes tight, undo the lock nut, or undo the nut should I say, wind it back. I'm guessing you don't need the washer, I just put it there to protect the aluminium really. So we can wind that back now. Until we can actually lift it out. Now you can see there the thread is, the bar is too long to come up past the aluminium, so I'm going to wind it back in a bit further until the piston pops out, and there we go. Get the washer out, and then we can take this tool. I'll just get something in behind it just to lever it out, and just pull the tool out like so, and that'll leave the seal and the tin ring in there like so. Okay, so let's just do another one. In fact, we'll do the opposite one. So we take a tin ring. This time what I'll do is I'll grease the tin ring rather than the rubber. Make life a bit easier. I know it doesn't, because it's difficult to get the grease to go all around the tin. Get them in that groove. Like I say, some people will say don't grease it. I think grease it, keep it lubricated, and it'll also stop water going in as well. which is always a good thing, especially for a vehicle that's likely to be going off-road. So we'll put the seal in there like we did before. There we go. And then we'll get our aluminium back, put that in there. Hopefully it'll go better this time. And then I'm going to take the aluminium piece, push it down through, holding the seal down, or the tin down, so that it doesn't just pop the rubber out. And then we can put that in there. And now what's happened is I need to open this diameter up slightly because the tin ring is kind of jamming in the nylon, in the counter bore. And then once again, holding the rubber down, flat surface steel rule, and I'm just popping that seal back in. You see now it's popped out there now, the swine. It really doesn't want to be in here, it wants to be out. It's almost like the seal's too big, but I can assure you it's not. Now this could be because I greased that tin ring. The reason it's not staying in there. There we go. Nope, it's popped out again. There we go, it's in there now. Right, so we'll put this down on here. Push down with a tool. Take it out. Hold it down, push the rubber in, make sure that it's flat. Okay, now that's crazy, it stayed in there on its own this time without me having to push it down. So once again we'll go to the other side, we'll push that in there. Actually I need to put some grease on the outside of this tin ring again. Rub some grease around there just to give it a fighting chance of not corroding. So we can pop that in there like so, that'll stay there. Then we can take our tool and we can now put this one into the bore where I've just fitted the seal. That's why I machined the outside of the piston down, so that it fits in here easily and won't pull the seal out when we pull the piston out. Okay, so that's in like that now. Put the washer on and then we'll wind. This is actually a better way to do it. Just wind the shaft out with the nut and everything on the end like that and just keep going until it pushes the piston in. No, it's not a good idea because the nut starts turning. So once the piston is fully back, we can wind this out like so. Just winding that shaft out. I'm going to grab my 17mm spanner. And yeah, I know this is a bit fiddly and fuddly and everything, but rest assured this is an awful job. And it saves you having to split your calipers in half. There we go, it's going in now. You feel it just give way. So push that in. Give it a little nudge, undo the nut, get the grease out of the way, and then wind the piston in, wind the bar in. And what we need to do now is pull that piston out from that seal. You can see it comes out very easily because it's machined down. Okay, so we should be able to pull that out now. Wind it in until we can turn it all sideways, and out it comes. And then again we'll get a steel rule in behind here, give that a little pry, and out it pops. Easier said than done, but it will come out. There we go. And now you can see both of those seals are in. There's that one in that side, that one in that side. Then what we can do is come along with our piston seal, get some grease on this one, mainly in the bore because it's going to give the piston a helping hand going in. Okay, and then we'll just get that wash out of the way so it doesn't scratch the paint, because I'm a big girl's blouse. Am I allowed to say that? No, I'm not, am I? So it's hard to get you to see this. So if we put this here so you can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to push this seal in, push it into the bore. It's harder for me to do it in front of the camera than it is to do it if it was on the bench, because I wouldn't be doing it at arm's length. Okay, so that's gone in like that now, and that's all nicely greased. A little bit more grease on the finger, just wipe it around the inside of that seal, like so. I mean, you can have too much grease, but you know, hey ho. And then I'm going to come along with this piston, clean piece of cloth. Notice I'm not using any brake fluid at this stage, because if these are sat around with brake fluid in them and they see any moisture whatsoever, you could see corrosion starting again, because brake fluid, unless it's synthetic, I think brake fluid absorbs moisture. So there's the piston in like so. It's so difficult for me to do this so you're not looking at a pair of hands. Yeah, nigh on impossible actually. So get the piston, push it in like so. There we go, that's gone. No, it's not. Come on, in you go. And guys, I knew I'd eat my words saying that these Brit parts were fine. Basically, if you look on here, they've got a chamfer on them. On here is quite a sharp corner. So what I've done, I've just got a bit of 1200 wet and dry, and I'm just going round and just polishing the actual end of the piston. I'm not touching the sides, I'm just polishing this sort of corner, as it were. And it's stainless steel, so it's quite hard. It's not going to scratch it or anything, it's just going to take that edge off. And I've just really struggled to get a piston in, and doing that just made it, just went in so easily afterwards. So then just give it a bit of a wipe off, give it a clean with some brake cleaner or whatever, and then you're good to go. And it's just basically, it's just taken that edge off there. There we go. So it's gone in square. So now I can just come along and with both hands I should be able to push that in. There we go. So that's in. I'll do the same for the other three now, and we're away. So there you go, Paul. That's how you use the tool. If you want me to send it to you, send me an email, nigelsmodelingbench@gmail.com, with your address, and I'll get it sent up to you. And I've also made one for the rear as well, so I'll get it sent off to you as soon as I can, sometime this week. And then when you finish with it, if you wouldn't mind sending it back, I'd be grateful. And sorry guys, this is an offer to Paul. I don't want the rest of the world emailing me and saying, can I borrow that tool please? So thanks very much guys, and I hope you enjoyed that. And it's just little thing. I love making little tools for bits and pieces, as you probably know if you like my channel. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and let's keep making Land Rovers better, as Mike says. Bye for now.